Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Chattin with the Champ. We are here with C Block's biggest loser, owner and proprietor, Charlie. Charlie, how are you?
I'm doing well, Mike. How are you?
I am fantastic. Let's get right to it.
Sure.
Coming off the best season ever for the losers, 8-5. You ended up being the conference champion,
King of the East.
King of the East.
King of the East.
After a three-way tie with Steve, yourself, and Jake. Yeah. You came out on top. How do you feel? How do you feel about all that?
Feel great.
Especially considering, it's in the name. C Block's biggest loser. It's your first winning season, but you did everything possible almost with it.
Almost.
Is this the new norm?
This is the new norm. Yeah.
Well then, is a name change in the future? You can't be C Block's biggest loser and keep winning the division.
I mean, the whole division has a bunch of losers in it, so
All
one of us
right.
has to win.
Yeah, well, someone does have to win. That's true. But let's go over. Like I said, you won the East, your first playoff berth, 8-5.
More playoff wins than Steve.
More playoff wins than Steve. That poor little bald man. You went super. Honestly, I don't think I've ever seen you play this aggressive. You went pretty much all in from the get-go. You, Tom, and myself had the most trades, three-way tie with 4 trades. And honestly, dude, you killed it. You won every single one, I'm fairly certain.
The one was irrelevant, like the Cam Newton for Mike Gesicki, but yeah.
I didn't even write that one down.
Yeah. Irrelevant, but yeah, I think I won the rest of them.
Yeah, you went super aggressive early. You traded James Conner and Benny Snell to Steve for DJ Moore and who else did you get back in that? Frank Fuller. Yeah, I don't think that really mattered too much. And then you ended up using DJ Moore to beat Steve in the second round.
Correct.
That's gotta sting.
Yeah, I'm sure.
For him, that's gotta sting. Gotta feel pretty good for you though.
Of course.
So, and then you got a lot of shit for it at the time. The Michael Thomas trade. He didn't do anything.
Yep.
And Jefferson is going to be a second round pick this year.
Correct.
So
I got my favorite kicker, and I got the up-and-coming
I wasn't going to bring up the other side.
Oh, no,
of that.
I'll bring it up. It's okay.
All right. Well, then, since we're going to talk about your favorite player, Justin Tucker.
Not my favorite player.
Okay. Well, are you going to wear the jersey this year?
I don't know. I know, it's like a thing for people to try to snipe me on them, so I don't really care. I have other kickers that I want this year. I actually looked into kicker this year, other than
I'm not gonna. Char, I don't believe you.
No, I really have.
I think this is all just propaganda right now. So it's not every year that you have to fucking trade for Justin Tucker, and you just don't have to deal with that shit.
It worked last year.
And then you had two more. Well, you had 2 more really big, I think, moves that really got you over the top. You swindled your brother Matt.
Oh yeah.
For DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, I talked him into
You gave him, I think the quote is a bag of balls in John Brown, who finished. I looked. He was the wide receiver 90.
Yikes.
90. I think DeAndre Swift was the running back 20 or something like that. So you got a running back 2 for free.
Pretty much, yeah.
So and then James Robinson. You picked him up. I forget which week. Very early.
Yeah, it was like maybe the week of the actual start of the league. Might have been like a Monday, at 8 in the morning. I was in the Dunkin' Donuts line. And then Steve texted me personally and said, "Damn, I was just about to pick him up." So
finished as the running back 4. So that was huge.
Yeah.
So is this the new aggressive biggest losers? Is this the thing? This is the new, I guess, baseline.
It's gonna be aggressive.
Balls to the wall.
Not so much in the shit talk, but how I run the team is gonna be more aggressive now. Now that I have more time to actually run the team and research, whereas the past leagues, I was in school, I was working nights, I didn't have as much time. I made a stupid trade where I traded Aaron Jones for T.Y. Hilton, dropped Nick Chubb, and then he became the starter.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody forgets about that one.
Yeah,
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I remember.
So, well, speaking... All right, you just mentioned shit talk. I don't know if you've seen your brother's episode, Matt's, referencing Matt's.
I skimmed through it.
Matt pinned... he says the East is going to come down to himself and Jake and then you and Brian are going to be fighting for that third spot.
I did see that part of it. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
I'm probably just gonna make playoffs again. I hope Steve makes it so I can beat him again. I hope Jake makes it so whatever kicker I have this year beats him again. I'm not worried about Matt. He'll make another dumb trade again.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, John Brown. I don't know why he likes John Brown so much. Like, he's got a thing for him.
Yeah, I talked him into the John Brown thing, and he's like, yeah, sure.
For those that don't know, Matt is off camera, and I'm not looking at him, but I can only assume he has a very sour face on right now.
No, he's looking at his phone.
But okay, so you're calling it. You're confident. Like, new norm. The losers are now a force to be reckoned with in the East.
Correct. King of the East.
So, excuse me, King of the East. Well, like, all right. Speaking on the East, like, your other brother, I don't know how, you got like 6 of them in the fucking league. Made the comment that the East is the stiffer competition division. So, I mean, can you reliably claim that you're going to make the playoffs every year if it's a murderer's row? Like, what I'm really trying to ask in a roundabout way is, what's your evaluation of the other Eastern Division owners?
The East has 5 teams, because Tom's irrelevant. Always has been, always will be. Jake just gets lucky. I mean, congrats. You've been the luckiest for 5 years in a row. See if it works for you year 6. Nobody knows about Brian. He came in and won 1 year, and then the next year he blames everything else but his poor team management on why he didn't do well. So, oddballs. And
I heard the draft was going perfect for him.
Yeah, it was. Joe Mixon was there. Which was there for him. I think realistically, even though I did shit talk Jake, it's probably 4 owners that are really, like, in contention. I don't really care about Tom, and Brian is irrelevant too. So, that's what I gotta say.
So you just got to beat one. You just got to beat one, make it to the dance, and then, you're gonna put everybody to bed.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
Okay. You are picking 9th this year? 10th.
Matt's
10th. Sorry, I actually didn't write that down. I have it written on a calendar in my room, but I don't have it written down here. So how do you feel about that going into this year?
I was saying at the lottery, 10 was my favorite spot.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted 1 through 5 or 10, and I got 10.
Why 10?
I like my value there. I like what I can get. Like, I don't feel like I have to reach on anything. I feel like no matter what, I'm guaranteed players that I like. I think the only thing that is kind of shitty about the 10th spot is I do have fairly good franchises, with the exception of Alex drafting right next to me. So,
Yeah, Alex is a loser, although he calls himself the draw. Okay, like, so you're looking at overall value for players, like best player available, right?
Essentially.
BPA every time. I mean, I think Matt was stating in his that he sees 11 running backs going in the first round. Do you see it going that way? I don't want to.
Nah, that's okay. Yeah, I mean, probably 10 to 11. I do think Alex will probably go Devontae Adams, just because I think he's a big Devontae Adams.
So you think Devontae Adams will make it to the end of the round, though?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Unless, I don't know. I've been doing a lot of mock drafts where I just try different things. Mm-hmm. I know Matt noted, and he was correct, every year at the draft I do try something different. So.
Yeah, you went double wide receiver last year, right?
So.
I mean, it got you far. Yeah, it got you very far.
But, it all comes down to luck. It all comes down to how I'm feeling on draft day. I could be doing all of these mock drafts a certain way, and I'll get the draft day, and there's a player I didn't think would be there, I might just take him instead. So, It all comes down to how actual draft day goes.
Yeah, it never shakes out like everybody is thinking.
No matter how many mocks you do, you're never going to be fully prepared for draft day.
Yeah, I know there's a couple guys in the league that are trying to theorize where everybody's taking who, and it just... I've seen what they've picked for me, and it's they're off base. They're way off base.
Yeah, I've seen what they picked for me too.
But I mean, it doesn't even matter so much because, like being so far back, when you're 10, 11, 12, like I can't do anything about what the first 9 teams are going to do, the first 10 teams. So I mean, it's just you got to just roll with it.
Exactly.
So I mean, so you're definitely not one of those guys though that I gotta go RB.
I'll get my running backs. Same thing as I did last year. I'll find value. I'll make it work.
Yeah, I mean, okay, yeah. So trading for DeAndre Swift and picking up James Robinson certainly says so.
Well, yeah, Lev Bell and James Conner didn't get me very far.
Le'Veon Bell, he's not with anyone right now.
Nah, he's a freak.
Oh man, Jake's boy's about to be unemployed.
Hate to hear it.
Yeah, I never like to see anyone lose their jobs, but you know. So, all right. So your plan is just find value at all costs. Do you see anything crazy happening in the first round? Do you see anybody doing some wacky shit?
No, I think for the most part, the first round's pretty much going to go as expected. Kind of saying what Matt was saying. 10 to 11 teams are probably going to take running backs. The second round's probably going to be a lot of receivers. Maybe those second round running backs like Chris Carson, David Montgomery, J.K. Dobbins, Clyde. I'm sure they'll all go, but it's probably going to be a lot of receivers for a lot of teams. I don't think you could pass up that value as like on the way back. Like,
yeah, I think you're right. I think for the most part you're right. I'm curious to see where Kelsey goes. I know Steve's gonna cry because he's definitely not getting them.
No, he's not.
But yeah, the draft's always interesting. Like you said, I agree with you. I don't think it ever shakes out like anybody really thinks. I mean, to quote former champion Brian Radicke, this is going great until it's not.
Yeah,
exactly. But in terms of that though, coming off the draft, obviously everybody hopes you have a good draft. Everyone thinks they have a good draft. You either leave the draft feeling one of two ways: great or bad, or like really bad.
You either feel really great or you feel like Steve, who sweats it from the time the draft starts until week 1. So
Steve sweats everything.
Yeah,
but I think that's just he's getting a little chubby. But so the draft. Honestly, looking at this, I mean, you traded a lot. You were very active picking up. Like, I think I glanced. I should have wrote it down. I think you had maybe 6 players that you drafted on your team at the end, and even then that might be a little high.
Yeah.
So going like in-season management, what would you say is more important, drafting a good team or managing a good team?
I mean, drafting a good team is important, but you have to be able to manage. One thing I need to fix is my fab management, because I went through, I think it's like $89 in week 1.
Well, yeah, you were super aggressive on Robinson and Hines, right?
No, well, Robinson was free. I was super aggressive on Hines, and I don't even know who the other running back was.
Yeah, I know you did drop like
That's how bad
$60 on like Nyheim Hines.
I think it was like 68 on Nyheim Hines, and it was like 28 or something on, I couldn't even tell you who. Benny Snell. It was Benny Snell. There you go. Yeah. And then I traded him.
Well, okay, we'll go into that. All right, so you think you got to scale back your aggressiveness a little bit on the fab, but do you worry about like coasting into, like, not to keep picking on him, but Steve at the end of the year had like $45 left, and
Well, that's a little
he blew. I think I might be exaggerating a little bit, but I remember he blew it all the last week on like Kiki QT, some defense, and some other third string running back that didn't do anything. And it's just like, do you worry about maybe holding on to the fab too much?
I think it comes down to like using it wisely.
Mm-hmm.
Like last year was the first time we had fab. I was used to the waiver wire. I would just put something.
What are your thoughts on it, by the way?
Oh, I love fab. I think it introduces like a different element to it. Are people going to do $0 bids? Are they going to put in that one?
Yeah.
And you see, we know about Jake how he'll put in a bid, and 2 minutes later, be like, somebody else put it in higher, and he'll go a little higher to try to make sure he secures that player. So it's a mental thing.
Yeah, it's like blind poker.
Yeah.
You're playing poker with everybody else in the league, and there are definitely owners that try to figure out what you bid on somebody, without coming right out and saying it. But I mean, I also enjoy fab very much, and I'm curious to see how that shakes out this year. Just because I've learned, like, yeah, maybe Matt said I hold on to mine, and maybe he's a little right, maybe not. We'll see. But I guess I haven't asked you your opinions on the West. It wouldn't be fair. I think I asked Matt his.
Who's in it again? Is it Tommy or Alex? I forget which one's in and which one's out.
Alex is, as of this recording, still in the league.
I mean, Alex, irrelevant. I don't know if I've ever lost him. Do we have that stat down there?
No, I do know that you put a beating on him a few years ago. That is, if I can find it, I'll put it in.
I can send it to you. Foster was irrelevant when he was in, so I'm curious to see whether he has a bounce back year, whether he does the same stuff that he did last time. He drafts Juju in the second.
I can confirm. I saw him very recently, and I asked him if he was going to take Juju 1 overall, and he said no.
That's good. Brock's the oddball. Brock kind of just takes best available. Sometimes it works for him. Last year he was decimated by injuries, so like many teams where shit happens. I do give Wes credit though. I think they do have 3 smart owners. Like I'll give you the credit. I'll give you the credit. I'll give Joe the credit, and I'll even throw Jose in there. I do think you guys have smart owners. But realistically, when it comes to the West, those are like the only 3 I would ever worry about. Because, as I said, I don't know enough about Foster. Brock is Brock. And Alex, Tommy, whichever one again. Irrelevant.
Alex is tall Tommy?
I guess so, yeah. Neither of them are going to make a splash anymore.
I mean, I love this. I feel like this is shaping up to be, a great beef. Great beef. Speaking of great beefs, famously, honestly, I voted that you versus Tom beef, despite records and everything, was one of the all-time greats. That's kind of petered out a little bit.
It's fizzled, yeah. I don't know. I haven't really been starting shit. I kind of I draft my team, I show up each week, and I either win or I lose.
You don't care about Tom anymore?
Nah, it's irrelevant.
Are you even slightly interested in this new rebranding?
I am. I do want to see. I do want to see what his new team is, his new logo. I'm a big fan. So I'm kind of upset he didn't do it at Lottery Day, but
I bet you the work just wasn't done.
That's probably.
He's probably still trying to come up with a name. But I mean, yeah, like so. But you don't anticipate that new name. Same results. Like you don't see him.
It's the same Tom.
Still Tom.
Yeah,
still Tom. Hey, well, I mean, hopefully Fantasy Pros will draft him a good team this year.
You can only hope so, right?
He's got a good pick. He's got a really good pick.
Yeah, he has a really good pick. I do like how the draft this year, like within like the first 6, I think it's 3 East, 3 West, and the last 6 is 3 East, 3 West. I think you might have to look at that again, but it is something very close to that.
Well, it's what? It's Foster. Steve, Brian, Tom, and then Joe's 5th.
Brock's 6th.
And then
Jose.
Jake is before Matt.
Yeah, Jake, Matt, me, you, Alex. So.
Yeah, I'm still. I got to find out why he picked, because he could have had 2.
Yeah,
I don't know why he picked 12. Yeah, that was bizarre.
I hope he did as much research as he apparently said.
I don't think so. I saw him the other night and he was wearing Birkenstocks, so I don't think he is doing any research, if I'm being quite honest. But all right, man. Got any closing messages for anyone? You wanna let the people at home know what's going on?
King of the East. Said it at Lottery Day. I'm gonna say it again. I'll remind everybody during this year why I'm the King of the East.
So repeat performance.
Of course.
Charles, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mike.
Char by 10.